Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Technique Tuesday. And so for our video today, I thought, let's drag out the Stamparatus. I hope that you have one and that you use it. I have heard both sides of the story. One is, I have one. I use it all the time. I can't stamp without it. The other one is, I have one. I never use it. It's still in the box. Okay, so today we are going to use it on a card, and I'm going to use the Hinge technique, H-I-N-G-E. And I think I've done a video on the Hinge technique before, but I did the sentiments. So today I'm going to do flowers because, you know, I'm a flower girl and I really like flowers. So let's get started today. I am going to be using different stamp sets. I'm going to be using Art Gallery. This is a photopolymer set. It's a two-step stamp set. I'm going to be using the flower from that and a sentiment. I'm going to be using Dress to Impress. So if you don't have this set and you sell makeup, you may want to consider it. I just introduced it to a girl who does sell makeup, and I said, hey, this has lipstick, it has perfume, it has cute sayings, be as bold as your lipstick, kindness is always in style, darling flowers that kind of look like they would go with makeup, right? And today I'm going to be using the little dots. Okay, so I just am excited. I'm going to use 4 different stamp pads. I'm going to be using Flirty Flamingo, Polished Pink, which is an in color, Fresh Freesia, which is an in color, and Highland Heather. So I'm going to be using all 4 of these stamp colors today. If you have the spots, they are perfect for the Stamparatus. But if you don't, just use your stamp pads. Either one work. Okay, so let's get started. Here's my Stamparatus. Make sure it's straight. The Stamparatus comes with 2 plates. The first plate stays on mine at all times. The second one you will store separately because it will break if you store them together. Okay, and this is, they both come, they're acrylic. They both come with the Stamparatus. They are reversible. And they are gridded, so that grid will never come off. It's cool, right? And I don't think there's any other stamp positioner on the market like ours. So you basically have 4 surfaces that you can put your stamps on, okay? Your Stamparatus also comes with a foam pad, okay? A black foam pad. That you will need when you use your photopolymer stamps. However, when you use your red rubber cling stamps, you need to take that away and use it without that because you don't need that extra thickness, okay? If you'd like to purchase the extra pad, I think it's $6, and it's wipeable. I like it. Otherwise, you can just use what comes with it. Perfect. Also comes with these 2 magnets, which are very strong magnets. I don't know what they're called. You don't want them to stick together. Right? You want to keep them separate at all times. If they stick together, they're probably not going to come apart. Probably going to break when you try to get them apart. They store on the back of your Stamparatus. So there's 2 spots on the back to store them. And that pretty much wraps up how it looks when you get it. Okay, let's get started today. I am going to put my cardstock in. And I'm not going to position it. You don't have to put it right up in the corner, right? You can put it anywhere you want on your pad. So I'm going to start mine like right here because I want my stamps to go off of the cardstock. Okay. Now I am going to start with my stamp, and the first stamp I'm going to use is the back. This is 2 steps. So this is the one that makes the lighter color, and this is the one that makes the definition. This is the second stamp. Kind of backwards of what you'd think. So I'm going to start with this one, right? And I'm going to stick it to the plate, just like that. I don't want this moving around, so I want to make sure I have this on. Okay. Now I am going to ink that up with my lightest color, which is Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to ink that up like that. Looking good. Make sure it's inked up. Put a little pressure. I do have one of these, I don't know what these are, eraser. I got this at like the office supply place. And you can use it, put a little pressure. I don't know. It's kind of like a little gadget, right? Okay, so that's looking good. Now I'm going to move this down one. So I'm going to hinge it down. Okay. The next color I'm going to use is Fresh Freesia. Now with this one, I need to clean that stamp off because I'm going to a different color. So you bring out your chamois and clean your stamp. If you've got any ink on the plate, no big deal. It's not going to transfer onto your cardstock. That's another cool thing about the Stamparatus, because it's not going to rock. So how cool. Ink this up. Now, if I just stamped this straight, it would cover up part of this flower. So what I did was I did cut out a die out of a piece of Post-it note. So there is the coordinating die that goes with this. So I did cut this out, and I'm going to cover this up just like that. I'm not going to take it all the way to the edge. Okay, I'm going to show you why. So now I'm going to push on this. And cool thing about the Stamparatus, right? If you missed a little speck, you just ink that back up. And voila. Okay, looking good. Now when I take this away, you can see that this actually makes this flower look like it's behind the other flower. Now I'm going to cover this one up. I'm going to hinge this down. Okay. And now I'm going to go with polished pink. So I am going to, I hope I remember what order I did these in. So I'm going to clean that off because I don't want that Fresh Freesia into my polished pink pad. I'm going to ink this up. Got a little ink on the plate, no biggie. Okay, love it, love it. Okay, I'll cover this up. Hinge down, one more hinge, and clean my flower, because now I'm going to use Highland Heather. Now, I want this to be just one shade lighter. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put a little piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to stamp this one time. And now I'm going to stamp it again. Okay, perfect. Okay, and the reason is because I want the Highland Heather to show next time I use it. I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to clean that stamp. Okay, then I'm going to put my hinge all the way back up where it was in the very beginning. Take this flower off. Get my second flower, which is the inside part, which makes it the detail. And line that up. So that when I stamp this, is that lined up? I think it is. Yes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use polished pink. Yes. I think that'll look good. See? So now I have that detail. Can you see that? I'm going to move it up to the camera so you can see it. All right. So now what I want to do is hinge down. Put my mask on. Just like that. And now I'm going to use the a darker purple, which is Highland Heather. I'm telling you, it's easy to forget what you need to do next. I'm trying to remember so I don't mess this up. I'm going to do Highland Heather. Oh yeah. Loving it. Okay, I don't have a darker color to use there, so I'm going to leave that one. Maybe I won't. I don't know. What should I do? Okay, so I'm going to hinge down. One more. Can you see how when you take your plate out, you need to go straight out and then it will come loose? I hope you understand that. If you try to pull it loose from here, it won't come loose, which is a good feature. Okay, now I'm going to do some polished pink. I don't know if this is going to show up or not. We'll see. It might not, but it might. Not very much, but a little bit. It is a little bit darker. Cool. Okay, and then the last one is the Highland Heather. Now, this is the one that I stamped off so that my inside would show. My second stamp would show. So, Highland Heather. Okay, almost done. Cool. All right, I love it. So what it looks like is just a row of flowers, all different colors. And I really like it. Okay, now, what I want to do now is take my cardstock out. Keep these magnets separate. Clean my stamp. Okay, so you know how to clean your chamois, right? You just take it to the sink, and you don't even need to use soap. Just use water and clean it by, and if it gets hard, because if you don't wet it occasionally, it'll get hard and all weird. Just take it to the sink, submerge it in water, squeeze on it until it comes back to life. Okay? I've had people think, ooh, mine's ruined. No, it's actually perfect. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so hinge technique all the way back up. And we're done with the Stamparatus. Now, what I want to do next is I do want to do those little dots that I was telling you about. And the color I'm going to use is polished pink. So, close these stamp pads before I stick my finger in one. Have I ever done that? Like a million times. Sticking my, that's the one problem with long fingernails, is constantly seems like I'm in a stamp pad. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is take the little dots from Dress to Impress and just stamp some little dots around. And I think this actually makes your eye look at the flowers more. No artist, right? You guys know that, but how cute is that? Okay. And I need to stamp my saying. So my sentiment I picked was, I'm thinking of you. And it's from Art Gallery. So I'm thinking of you is going to be in black, Memento black on polished pink cardstock. Gave myself plenty of cardstock, right? Because again, I've made mistakes. So here I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to do my fishtail on this end, not the other end, but just this end. Okay. Now I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Probably one. What the heck? Keep taking the... That's a unique way to take the tops off. Okay. I'm thinking of you. And mount this on piece of cardstock. So this piece of cardstock is 5 by 3 3/4. Just the white is just a tad smaller so that it will layer nicely. And now I'm going to put some more dimensionals on the back. I usually put 5 because when it runs through the postage machine, if you don't have one in the center, sometimes it'll squish it, and you'll have a weird card. It'll be flat in the center. So I'm going to need a piece of white, basic white cardstock. Fold it in half, so that's 8.5 by 5.5. Layered. So now that's popped up. And I'm just going to do a few silver metallic pearls. So I'm probably going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 5. 4 and 5. So I always do odd. If I do 3, 5, whatever. Okay, there's my card today. Hinge technique with your Stamparatus. I used Art Gallery and Dress to Impress. Lots of pinks and purples. Hope you enjoyed this card, and I will talk to you on Friday. Bye.